Hi, so it's opening night at Pippin here at Millersville with Acmo, and my name is Hannah. I am the costumer, and I figured I would walk you through a few of the things that I procured for the show. I tend to do a lot of secondhand costuming, so I'll use fabrics that are secondhand. I'll use garments that I already had. I'll repurpose items, or I will go to an actual costume rental shop, which is here on campus at school. So I thought I would talk you through a bit of what exactly I did and what exactly I put together for characters. I'll also talk you through what I'm still doing, despite the fact that it is, what time is it? It's not telling me. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and places, I believe, is at 7:50 tonight. So yeah. P.S. I was wrong. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So in front of us here we have most of the women's garments. So there are 3 things which I had to make, actually 4 things that I had to make completely from scratch. 3 of which were bodysuits. So I took a simplicity bodysuit pattern, and it's actually pretty heavily altered. So the pattern itself, I'll try to insert a picture. This is just one of them. We had yellow, blue, and red. The red and the blue are here. So, for our showgirls. And they also have headpieces which go with them. The blue and they're all showing up a little more vibrant on camera than they are in real life. But I used a simplicity bodysuit pattern which came with long sleeves, and most of the views were of crew necks. However, there was one view with a wrap front and one with an extremely low V-neck, which would lace up. But I hacked it so that each one would be with like a sweetheart neckline. I'm going to do some washing tomorrow. I just couldn't deal with it today. And I also made it so that each one has a facing down to the waist, which helps with stabilizing the neckline, as well as ensuring that it's not entirely sheer. So those are those. And these characters also have big burlesque style headpieces, as well as garters. Oh, I forgot to do something. Oh well. Next up, I might as well show you the gypsies. So for the gypsies, I actually didn't do any of the sewing myself, except for I have to finish I sewed this ruffle on, and I have to finish sewing here for tonight. So both of these costumes came from a costume rental shop, which is actually it's currently my primary job until I graduate at the end of, towards the beginning of May. So each one has a bra top, a pair of harem pants. This one has stripes. This one has like a lace overlay, which kind of matches the bra top for it. This one has like, it's kind of like an oversleeve here, which matches the pants. And then each one also has a over skirt, which with a hanging tab and a sheer back, and it's also where their coins are attached to. But yeah, so for this one I had to attach a ruffle to a neckline. For this one I have to finish fixing it in the back so that she doesn't have so many issues with it tonight. So yeah, those are the gypsies. Next, I might as well talk you through our Siamese twins. As every sideshow should, we have a pair of Siamese twins we have a pair of Siamese twins who aren't actually twins. They're not actually even the same height, which is kind of entertaining. But I can kind of show you what I did so that they would look alike in terms of costuming. So first off, you'll see here these two striped tops. So I really wanted a chevron pattern on the top for them, based upon a picture I think I saw of, it was a pair of Siamese twins, I'm pretty sure. So I found a maxi dress where they already had the chevron, and then I cut that off like 5 inches below the waistline, and then I traced it so that we could have an identical top for the other twin. And right now I need to add a panel to the back of that one. But the real complicated bit for these two was their skirt. So we have our twins so that that might not be the right way around, but it's okay. We have it so that they're attached at the hip. Don't know if you can see this, but I ended up cutting out 2 half circle skirts out of like a black poly cotton broadcloth from Joann's. I got like 5 yards of it, and then I had a little less than a yard left afterwards. I didn't put any interfacing in the waistband because I did not want to deal with that. Also, I used zippers that I had in my stash that I bought in a bulk pack from Amazon a while ago. But yeah, so that's the twins. Next off, we have mines. Now, one of the shirts isn't here right now because the dancer is gonna, the dancer, one of the mime dancers is going to be, well, washed it today. That's really what I should say. But everyone has their own leggings, their own black leggings that they're wearing, and their own jazz shoes. And then everyone also each has their own pair of white gloves, which I washed last night because they were getting icky. And then everyone also has a red triangular scarf. So I have two tops which originally came from, well, I bought all of the tops for the mimes from the thrift store. They're slightly different in pattern. 2 of them are pretty much identical, but yeah. So I had 2 which came from Old Navy. They, I believe, are rayon blend, rayon spandex. Now, this one I only cut in the front. We have someone who, one of our featured dancers, injured her Achilles tendon. So we have her in a wheelchair on stage. So we didn't need to cut all the length around. It reduced a bit of the work for me, is the real point. And I got to iron her scarf last night. I didn't get to the others. And then, so this is the other one that's from Old Navy. You can see how so there were vents on the side of both of these shirts. And actually I got them at 2 different stores, 2 different thrift stores, which are like right next to each other. And there's also a lot of stripes on the stage, which I kind of feel bad about, but we're gonna ignore it. So we have, so you can see how this one was cut off on the front and the back. Part of the reason for them having suspenders is so that their shirts stay tucked in whilst they're doing cartwheels and rolls and tumbles and all sorts of that stuff. And all of these suspenders, and scarves, and gloves, except for 1 pair, came from a costume rental shop. Now, this one is actually started life as a turtleneck. It also came from the thrift store. I can't remember who it was originally by, but I just cut off a great big chunk, and then I made it a narrow neckband. Yeah. So those are the mimes, and they are losing their suspenders. Sorry about that. Mine lost her suspenders. Okay, I'll show you that one later. Okay, next we have a bearded lady who I need to hem today. So our bearded lady is a very tall, very thin, blonde woman. And actually, she had, this is 2 dresses combined into one. So this came from a dress that I own. The main body of the dress is from the costume shop. And then we didn't have enough layers, so I had to take a layer of tulle off my dear dress and sew it on. But this I need to hem, so that's fun, so that she doesn't trip on it throughout the night. Okay, next I will show you the leading player. So first off, I will say that the actress brought in her own pants, which are like black, like slightly wider in their leg shape, which is nice. And then we also have a pair of shoes, but I'm not going to show you the shoes. And then in terms of a shirt, so the way that this shirt works, it's actually upside down at the moment. So this is a Simplicity reprint pattern from the 50s. trying to explain how it worked to someone yesterday and it just didn't work. Oh, please ignore all the things in the background. I did not make those. So, you can see here that there is like a T-shaped seam, which is the back. And then it comes over, drapes in the front. And like you have like a little kimono sleeve. It's great. I need to do some hemming on that. Also, in terms of her jacket, so I got a lot of inspiration from a book that I borrowed. Oh, I don't know when I borrowed it. It was a while ago. I borrowed a book from a friend of the family who's an artist, which had a bunch of pictures from the circus. But like showed one woman in the late 40s, I believe, early 50s, who was wearing this very menswear inspired outfit. She was a trapeze artist, I believe. But so I went with that, but like I had to add in some additions so that the actress had more movement. The other thing, which I'm proud of, is I added pockets. They are welt pockets on either side. One is shallower than the other. And this was using a pattern I borrowed from the costume shop. Which was from the 70s, I believe. You can see how I added an addition onto this one because she is left-handed and she needed to be able to keep something in there. So yeah, this is your warning that there are clowns ahead. Okay. So there are 3 clowns in the show. We have one who stays on stage the entire show, and then 2 who leave during Act 1. All of their costumes came from the costume rental shop at Mooresville. Each has some sort of ruff and a hat in addition to a bodysuit. So these 2 go together a bit more. This one, she's hilarious, to be honest, and terrified of clowns. Yeah. So yeah, those are our 3 clowns. So I didn't make any of these clowns, but they're great. And our actresses who are playing the clowns are very entertaining. Excuse me. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. I guess next I can show you one of my favorite bits, which I am keeping for myself. I had to make a quick change costume, and it took me quite a while. It was actually the very first thing I started on. So here we have the main costume piece, which is like this teal rayon. It was originally a dress that I got at the thrift store. These strips of taffeta were in my stash. I think one of them was a gift, and the other I got a remnant of from Gaffney's Fabrics in Germantown. So this is actually using the exact same pattern as the bodysuits for the showgirls. Like, I made this one before I did the showgirls because we have 2 people who I made the same size for. So I made this one first. You will notice that there's a lot of extra fabric here, which is to help hide things. And it's also nice because it has quite a lot of stretch to help camouflage some of the larger items that go under it. So the very first layer that the actress wears is a bodysuit. which you don't see her in completely. It's nude. That's all you really need to know about it. I bought it many, many years ago. So technically it's mine, but we're going to ignore that fact. So for this purple piece, I was inspired by this really risque circus poster with a woman milking herself, basically, into a milk bottle. But I really liked the idea of the mesh, and so I scoured the thrift store looking for anything that had the right space in the mesh. And this is actually an acrylic sweater. So these are the sleeves, and then the body turned into a pair of bottoms. Ta-da! So that's fun. And then on top of that, this is literally the first thing I started working on because I wanted it. This is a fabric that is extremely shiny. I believe it is originally from Joann's from many years ago. I got it as a gift at the same time as I got this green taffeta. But it's beautiful fabric. I believe it's 100% polyester, and it's extremely shiny and metallic. You can see that texture, I'm not sure. There you go. It's great, but like I was too worried about using an actual pattern for this dress, so I draped it on a mannequin. So that's how we have this interesting detail here, which is essentially a bust dart, which isn't fully sewn. But I really like it. It has extremely high slits, so that when the actress is dancing, she can do splits and tango with the best of them. In the back, excuse me, it's unlined, just so you know, and in the back it's closed with Velcro. I did Velcro because it is easier to get out of. We have an actor who, she literally quick changes on the stage. It just rips. Yeah, so I love that costume, to be perfectly honest. So the next of the women, besides my two Act 2 women / men, it's a bit confusing, is our strong woman. So it was a bit of a triumph, actually. So I took this extra large Target dress that I got at the thrift store. It's got some lovely stripes, as you can see. It buttoned down the entire front of the dress, and like had a weird sheared waistband. But the issue was the actress has a larger bust. I couldn't actually fit her bust into the outfit comfortably. So what I had to do was I had to create a pattern piece so that we could actually accommodate her bust. And it was a really interesting way for me to attempt to do a full bust adjustment. And then I also I took some of the remaining fabric from the dress that I didn't use for my full bust adjustment and made a pair of shorts. In addition, I had to get some more fabric. So this is like a black crepe, poly crepe. It's actually the same fabric that I used on the leading player to add some footballs for her arms to be able to move comfortably. Oh, yes. So last for the women are Theo and Catherine. So let's talk about them. Sorry for the strata. Gonna have to move a bit. So, recording. Oh, okay. So for Theo and Catherine, Theo's almost entirely from the costume rental shop. There are a pair of it's really interesting flecked fabric, which is for bloomers, knickers, whichever you want to call them, long, gathered at the knee. And then we have this shirt with sailboats on it, which I thought was really great for a little boy. And a hat, which I bought at the thrift store initially for Theo. And then I was like, no, I want this for myself. But then it returned to Theo. But I will be keeping it after the show. And then over here we have, I'm going to do it this way, sorry. Catherine. So Catherine, I altered, I believe it was Simplicity. A Simplicity peasant top into a dress. So we had another dress initially, which was like a peasant style dress that I found, and it fit, but it was extremely sheer and white. So what I did was I compared my pattern pieces. I did a whole lot of comparison. And then it is attached up at the waist. It just goes over the head. That's all. And then at the waist there is a belt, which is kind of cool, which I got from the costume rental shop again. Oh yes, I forgot about the lizard woman. So for the lizard woman, we do have a lizard woman. She has a pair of rather stretchy, it's a weird twill pant, which I got at the thrift store and altered so that it wasn't as much of a bell bottom and that it was shorter for her. And I also made a, I don't know if the light will turn on. And I also made a Russian style blouse, which she already has green all over the collar from the past week. But I need to reattach her collar. And these are the Mimes gloves. 3 pairs of which have grips on them so that they can do all their spins and tricks, stuff I can't do. And my Mime in a wheelchair has a normal pair of white gloves. Then we have the men. So this is Charles. He has a rope, a gold rope. He's got his bars. His pair of, this is an actual military jacket, which I got at the rental shop, as well as his pants. He's wearing his own belt and scarf and shirt, and I also made him a layer of quilted padding. This is our dog boy, dog man, whichever you want to call him. He has a dog-like face. So I have this pair of blue wool marching band pants, basically, with red stripes, as well as a, I'm not sure if this is, I feel like it might be polyester, unfortunately for him. I feel really bad. He sweats. Jacket, which he wears throughout the show. And that was also all from the costume rental shop. Now, this fun piece, Oh gosh, what was he doing? I have to wash. That, definitely, sorry. Oh gosh, what did I do? Why did I wait so long for that? So the entertaining bit is, it is a maternity dress, which I turned into, oh yes, it's a tight-fitting outfit with a very deep neckline for Lewis. At one point towards the end, I got told off for having Pippin basically all in dark colors. But I had been craving something green. I just didn't know that it was Pippin who I needed to be green. So he has this bright green Henley, which he wears, as well as a pair of black pants and sneakers. This beauty is worn by our Bertha. So I thrifted this dress, and then had to add some padding. So he's got some girls there. He's hilarious though. In additionally, there's this pink coat, which is probably from the 50s or 60s. It's a silk swing coat, and then at the from the thrift store I found this fabric, which I added to give a bit more length to the sleeve and to the actual coat. Next off we have our tattoo man / human canvas, whichever you want to call him. He wears like a simple tank top and a pair of black shorts. So that is basically it. So that's basically everything that I brought together for this show. But I didn't show you those like burlesque style headdresses. They also have fans. Bertha also has a shawl, which technically it's mine. So we've got 3 of these, 1 in each color. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this show has turned out. I'm extremely tired, probably sick, and I have laundry to do tomorrow. So that's it for now. But, oh, also I will be taking out my curlers at some time. They're just not dry yet because my hair is ridiculous, because I didn't explain that earlier. Also, I could show you my outfit. So basically, almost everything is secondhand that I'm wearing. I'm wearing a cotton thick rib turtleneck, which I got at the thrift store, like a suede, I can't get it, a suede, like purple, like aubergine eggplant colored skirt, as well as some heeled boots with my LL Bean merino socks, because, well, unfortunately my skirt is polyester, and unfortunately there's an inordinate amount of polyester in this show, but que sera, sera. Yeah, I'm gonna have some tea and try and finish sewing everything before everyone gets back. Well, gets here for, call time, which is starting at 5 for some people, and then for others it's at 6, I believe. So yeah, that's all for now. If we have people come in, I will try to introduce them to you, but otherwise, oh, I didn't say my earrings are not secondhand, nor my socks, nor my curlers, or my makeup. But that's all for now. I'm Hannah Nykirk, and this has been what I've gathered for Pippin. Yeah, bye.